Warhammer 40.000 is a daunting game to get into. With so many miniatures to build, paint, and play with. Where do you start? In this series, we will raise an army from 0 to 2000, with the goal to win a tournament. Welcome to 40k from scratch. I greet you, battle brothers and imperial citizens. We are in our third month of playing the army and have assembled a foundation of Space Marines. Last time, we added a big value box to get an army on the table as fast as possible, but from now on, we are making targeted purchases to make up for the weaknesses of our current strike force. The first of the 3 units we are adding to the force is a Primarch librarian. The Primarch librarian is a psychic leader for Space Marine units. He has a respectable shooting weapon, grants his unit an invulnerable save, and further defense against psychic attacks. The main reason why we are adding a librarian to the army is because he will dramatically improve the offensive output of our Desolation Marines. As one of only 3 other leaders allowed to join the Desolators, the librarian is the perfect model to carry the Bolter Discipline enhancement, which grants his unit the sustained hits ability. In addition, while the Devastator Doctrine is active, critical hits are triggered on a roll of 5 and 6 instead of just 6. This essentially means you are looking at a 100% hit conversion naturally and a massive increase when factoring in the rerolls from Oaths of Moment. And thanks to the adaptive stratagem, the unit could spend the entire game in said doctrine. Next, I realized that the army is a big short on big guns. We are relying on the Ballistus Dreadnought and the Desolation Marines to combat high toughness targets like tanks and monsters. And because of that, we are adding a Gladiator Lancer to the army. The Gladiator Lancer is a high damage battle tank with reasonable durability and lots of incidental small arms fire. The Gladiator Lancer is very reliable thanks to its own reroll ability, even outside of Oaths of Moment. And lastly, we are adding a centerpiece model to this collection, a character whose presence will uplift the force and lead us into the fabled realm of victory. I am talking about Roboute Guilliman, Primarch of the Ultramarines and Lord Commander of the Imperium. Guilliman has a choice to pick between one of 3 abilities every round. You can improve your army's morale, make a stratagem free once per turn, or give rerolls against a second unit provided you destroyed your Oaths of Moment target earlier this turn. Now for the model, we are running into a slight problem. You see, as a dedicated Ultramarine, I obviously already own a Roboute Guilliman model, so I was obviously hesitating to buy the same model again, until I came up with a brilliant solution. Instead of purchasing the plastic model we built for the month, I decided to grab the Horus Heresy version of Robalto for our collection. This very complex resin kit made by the branch company Forge World features a younger Roboute Guilliman during the times of the Great Crusade. The model comes with a scenic base which coincidentally happens to be the same size as the 40k miniature. This model is a perfectly reasonable substitution if you so desire, and don't mind the extra cost. Today's first battle is a match against the Adeptus Custodes. Their game plan focuses on overwhelming you with large units of extremely durable bodies, which are almost impossible to engage in close combat. We played the game to our strengths, the mission, and our brand new Desolation squad was able to kill a substantial amount of Custodians, thanks to the aforementioned synergies. We won the game. However, I was a few lucky 9-inch charges out of Deep Strike away from being completely overwhelmed, and should consider myself lucky. We need to address that issue in the future. The second match was fought against the Dark Eldar, or Drukhari as the Zoomers call them. Their entire game plan essentially consists of shooting you with high damage anti-tank weapons, while the cheap units run around the board to score points on the mission. The mission, Sites of Power, was a lucky draw for us due to the fact that we ran 4 characters in total, while our opponent only brought 1. That meant we were easily able to catch up and even overtake the Dark Elves on primary mission points. We lost a lot of good men, but the indirect firepower of the Desolators paid off well, and Robute Gilliman went through a rampage in the center of the table, essentially bullying the whole opposition away from the objectives in the middle. A decisive victory for the Space Marines. Our collection is expanding at a satisfying rate, and I am happy about including another heavy hitter and a centerpiece model. Next, I would like to introduce some tech choices into our roster. Currently, our army is weak against deep strikes, and I would like to change that. Courage and honor, we march for McCraig.